Hi, it's Aruna, the lead trainer at Young Yoga Masters. And we're going to talk about training for kids yoga teachers and what's happened since the post COVID training provisions. The first thing to note is that yoga is an unregulated industry, which means no one can stop you from teaching yoga because of your certification. But you want to think about what looks good on your resume and what prepares you to teach. The third important factor is what you need to get insurance if you're going to start a business. So even though no one can stop you from teaching, there are other factors involved. Many people look towards Yoga Alliance standards for training. Yoga Alliance is a voluntary registry, and that means you don't have to register with Yoga Alliance to be a kids yoga teacher. If you want to be a registered children's yoga teacher with Yoga Alliance, you have the 200-hour adult yoga teacher training and a 95-hour children's yoga teacher training. Plus, you have practical experience teaching children. To call yourself a RCYT, registered children's yoga teacher, means you have all these three things. People will get the 95-hour certificate, which means that they've taken a training with a registered yoga school, but that doesn't make you a registered children's yoga teacher. People also get certificates for a 16-hour training or a module of training, maybe a weekend certificate, and those trainings may not be registered with Yoga Alliance. You can still put them on your resume, but you can't call yourself a registered children's yoga teacher without the 200-hour adult yoga training, the 95-hour children's yoga teacher training, all from registered yoga schools. And then the teaching requirements are that you have 30 hours of teaching experience in children's yoga since completing your trainings with an RCYS. You don't have to report those 30 hours to the school. You just report those 30 hours to Yoga Alliance. A little bit of history about the format of a training at Yoga Alliance. It has changed a lot over the years. The registered children's yoga teacher credential came into play in 2012. And from 2012 to 2020, only 8 hours of self-paced training were allowed in the 95-hour training. Then COVID hit and the Yoga Alliance introduced temporary training provisions for COVID. And that allowed people to do 94 hours of self-paced training, and only 1 hour had to be real time, either online like Zoom or Meets, or it could be in person. The temporary training provisions are over. And from 2024 onward, this is what's required by Yoga Alliance: a minimum of 14 hours of real-time training, and up to 81 hours can be self-paced training. Schools can do more than 14 hours of real-time training. It's up to each school to decide. One question that comes up is, if people have a certificate that they've already gotten, can they combine a bunch of certificates till they get to 95 hours? And the answer is no. And the reason is because when a school registers with Yoga Alliance, they submit a syllabus based on all these different educational categories. They also have to assess your understanding of the training. I can't accept other trainings because I don't know which educational categories they were in. I don't know whether you were assessed on the training. And plus, Yoga Alliance doesn't allow it. All 95 hours have to be with the same school. Keep in mind the new provision that a minimum of 14 hours of real-time training must also be included now in the 95-hour training. And it doesn't matter which categories those are in. So if yoga is unregulated, if no one can stop you from teaching, what matters most? Why do you need to get a training? And the answer to that is, do you know what you're doing? Can you deliver a great class? If I were to say to you, hey, can you sub a class for me tomorrow? Would you know what to do? And that's why most people get training. They want to be really good teachers. Here's how we create the training at Young Yoga Masters. We have modules of training you can take individually, and 6 of these modules are self-paced. They cover the basics of teaching kids, mindfulness for children, We have the yoga literacy, which includes the yoga alphabet, and that's about how to teach poses. It's much different than how you would do a yoga pose in an adult yoga class. So yoga literacy is about how to make poses kids friendly. Themes and Dreams is about how to bring yoga philosophy to children in a way that they can connect with, and that's age appropriate. Inclusive yoga is about including everyone in your class and includes teaching children on the autism spectrum, teaching chair yoga, and other special needs. Family yoga includes both family yoga and adult taught yoga. Chakras for Children is a 4-hour certificate all about the chakras. The self-paced training happens online. You're getting to observe your trainers teaching children's yoga, both online and in person. You're also watching a replay of a live trainings, not just me talking into the camera. A large part of the training is watching a cohort complete the training. So you're hearing people's questions, you're hearing the conversations. A lot of people who have completed the program this way say they feel like they're in a live cohort. And sometimes they actually even answer questions, forgetting that it's all pre-recorded. It's a very interactive training, and we have a lot of different trainers. You'll get 6 different trainers in this training with myself and Marcia as the lead trainers. That brings us to this final module, the Business Accelerator and Mentorship Teachers Circle. You may recall that the 14 hours of real-time training has to be included. And what we found at Young Yoga Masters was people felt prepared to teach at the end of their training, but then they wanted support after they got the certificate as they started to put themselves out there as a kids yoga teacher. And that's why we developed this mentorship and business accelerator circle. There is real-time training each month, and people who are getting their 95-hour certificate can choose when the real-time training suits them, and they could attend up to 23 hours of real-time training, or maybe they just want to do 14 hours, which is the Yoga Alliance requirement, and take the rest by watching the replays. There's a lot of flexibility. You get a year in the Business Accelerator and Mentorship Teacher Circle to support you even after you get your certificate. Here's what's included: workshops focusing on building your business, refining your lesson plans, and perhaps practice teaching. There is a Teaching from the Heart program for people who maybe aren't as confident with what to say when they're teaching the poses. These are real-time activities, which works out to about once a week for you to attend if you want. It's optional. If you're taking the 95-hour program, though, you'll need at least 14 hours of real-time training. You'll be able to choose which of these you want to attend each month, and maybe you don't want to attend any for a few months while you take the self-paced training. And then after you finish the self-paced training, then you'll start attending the real-time training. It's up to you. And then, of course, there's also an on-demand training library. Like this business insurance is about half an hour. It's deliberately short so that you just get the information you need and then move on. In the real-time training, here's some examples. You'll get one-to-one support if you want it. You'll also get group support where you can connect with others in real time. And this is usually when people will graduate once they complete the real-time training. You get to know others in the training. And these modules together create the 95-hour certificate. I invite you to come visit youngyogamasters.com and get the latest news by getting on our newsletter. You'll get lots of free printable resources, downloads, real-time training, self-paced training, and you can earn your 95-hour certificate if you want. And if you've already got your 95-hour certificate, you are invited to join the Business Accelerator and Mentorship for real-time support as well as self-paced training. You can earn continuing education hours in the Business Accelerator if you already have your 95-hour certificate. If you have any questions, please look through the rest of the frequently asked questions on the Young Yoga Masters website. And if you're still not sure, send me an email at info@youngyogamasters.com. Thanks for watching.